I want to talk about the West for a second. So San Francisco, we were on the air, Joy and I, Friday, and the Niners moved up to number 3 in the draft. And when they draft a quarterback, and that's what they'll do, in the first time in NFL history, a team will draft a quarterback in the top 3 picks within 2 years of being in the Super Bowl. It's never happened before. Why is the NFC West so hyper-aggressive? In my lifetime, I've never seen a division like this. It's insane. Arizona is the only team next year with its first-round pick. And I think there's 2 reasons. I mean, think about this. Seattle was 12-4. They've upgraded. Rams were 10-6, won a playoff game. They ditched their Super Bowl quarterback. Arizona, multiple moves. San Francisco, Super Bowl 2 years ago. They're getting rid of their quarterback eventually. It's insane. Why? The first part, and I think I'm the only sports talk show host in America that's lived in all 4 corners of the country. So I speak of this, and I observe for a living. That's what I do. The West is different. It's not a coincidence Silicon Valley is here. Silicon Valley is out west for a reason. That's what we do. We invent. People that move out west, you're the one guy in the family that didn't want to live for your grandpa's dreams, your dad's dreams. You wanted to chase your own dreams. I say this all the time about the West. In the East, if you get a better job, you buy a more expensive tie. In the West, you no longer want to wear one. You go to jeans, a crisp shirt, a blue sports coat, and no tie the rest of your life. We think differently out west. We do not romanticize an old church. We tear it down and build a new one, hopefully with air conditioning. It's how we roll. I lived in Connecticut for 10 years. Every house is the same. Center door colonial, mostly white. They all look the exact same. And I lived in a nice neighborhood. It's just different out here. In the Midwest, Mike Pence feels like a Midwest governor. He's just too way uptight out here. We're the adapters. We're the evolvers. People move out west who chase their dreams and want new stuff. It's just how, think about the Midwest. The Cincinnati Bengals have not made a daring move in the draft for 20 years. The Green Bay Packers have had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and they clenched their teeth with every free agent dollar. The Colts are well run, but incredibly frugal. That's very Midwest. The Northeast, when I lived there for 11 years, bound by tradition. The South, very much into tradition. So the first part of it is this is what the West does. 49ers, Seattle, Los Angeles. These are tech centers. This is new stuff. We don't have a lot of old buildings. We just tear it down and build a new one. Even in Vegas, you don't romanticize stuff. Caesar's Palace, that wing's old. Boom, blow it up, start a new one. It's just the way we operate out west. So part of it, I think, is the sensibility of out west. Just go. The second thing is you have 3 great coaches, and their legacies are on the line. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and then Pete Carroll, who we all kind of felt gave away that one Super Bowl. He doesn't want to be knocked off his perch by a couple of young upstarts. And then you have Arizona, which doesn't have a rich history, but their GM and their head coach are toast if they don't win soon, probably by next year. So you have this Western sensibility, which is a evolve, go for it. I always say this about Californians. There's an optimism to Californians. I'm not a native Californian. I have friends who are native Californians, many. And there's a natural optimism about California. The feeling is, spend today. Tomorrow will be better. We'll just figure out tomorrow. It's how California, we got into a pandemic and had a $19 billion surplus. Like California was the one state in the pandemic economically exploded. Zoom, DocuSign, Netflix. So I think some of it is just the Western sensibility. Just go for it. And the second part is when you have 3 great coaches and their legacies are on the line. And Shanahan, a little of the shine is off. He's kind of one-dimensional offense. Kyle Shanahan can't win without Garoppolo. Pete Carroll gave that Super Bowl away. Can't get along with Russ. They've all got these legacies now that have been dinged in the last 12 months, dinged a little bit, and they're fighting for those legacies, and they're great coaches, and they have huge power inside the walls of their organization. So, interesting weekend in the NBA. The Lakers signed Andre Drummond, and Andre Drummond's only 27 years old. Okay, he's probably got 4 peak years left. He's a 4-time rebounding champ. He's not a guy I would build around like Detroit tried. But he's a hell of a basketball player with 4 plays on both ends. He's an all-star multiple times. Got to the playoffs 0 for 8, and he's made $137 million, and he just said, 6 teams wanted him. He chose LeBron. He didn't choose the Lakers. He chose LeBron. That's why he went there. And I'll get to that in a second. Celtics wanted him. Knicks wanted him. Charlotte wanted him. There were winning teams that wanted him. He chose LeBron James. The Brooklyn Nets got LaMarcus Aldridge. He's a 20-point game player on his career. He'll give you about 14 to 15 now. LaMarcus Aldridge has got 4 more years of good mid-range jumpers. He's a 6 or 7-time All-Star, but he made $211 million. He chose Kevin Durant. That's what he chose. You're seeing this now. You saw it with Tampa Bay. A lot of guys taking pay cuts because of Brady. They're not choosing the Buccaneers. They're choosing Brady. Andre Drummond chose LeBron James. LaMarcus Aldridge didn't choose Brooklyn or Kyrie Irving. He chose Kevin Durant. Harden doesn't have a ring. When you add these superstars, there's obviously a lot of benefits. You win more. The thing that nobody ever talks about is you get a discount on about 90% of your roster. I mean, Dwight Howard was a completely irrelevant player. He goes to the Lakers, plays with LeBron, and then there's like 4 teams after him in free agency. Andre Drummond is going to get more exposure in 3 weeks in the Western Conference Finals and NBA Finals. In 3 weeks than he got in Detroit in 9 to 10 years, in a decade. That's why you choose LeBron and Durant and Brady. You just get, if you start looking at Andre Drummond gets bad mouth because he never won a playoff game. It's Detroit. They're not well run. They haven't been particularly well coached. They don't have a lot around him. They couldn't do anything with Blake Griffin. It's not a good organization. Lakers are. So Drummond's a huge get. Both ends of the floor, 4-time rebounding champ, totally athletically in his prime, 27 years old. You're asking him, can you give us 20 minutes tonight? You're not asking him to lead the team. You're asking him to be the 4th or 5th best player. Same with LaMarcus Aldridge. Could you be our 5th best player? 15 a game, LaMarcus Aldridge? So that the players make so much money now so quickly, NBA and NFL. Guys get into the $100 million net worth at 27 years old. That was even 5 years ago. That's what you made in a career, $100 million net worth. Guy, Andre Drummond has made $137 million. He's 27 years old. He's 27 years old. And so then you can just choose the superstar on a total discount, play for 3 months, the market, LaMarcus Aldridge, especially Andre Drummond. He'll go to the market after the finals, and he'll have 7 suitors. If he'd have stayed in Detroit, he'd just dry up. So the benefit of the stars, we know this, beyond like getting a Mookie Betts make you a better baseball team, players will take discounts because they make so much money early now. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.